Hello and welcome back everyone, we Weeb online, and today I'm gonna continue the story What If Naruto Conquered the Elemental Nation Part 7, The End. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a big thumbs up, and to watch more videos like this, subscribe to my channel and turn that bell notification on so you never miss an upload. Now wasting no more time, let's begin.
The sand-named Tsuchikage Onoki had outlived many previous cages across the elemental countries, from Konoha to Kiri. He was the oldest cage in the elemental countries and was regarded as the wisest due to his fence-sitting ways. He was a man who believed in waiting to see how things unfolded so that he could make the best decision about whether to take a side or not in a conflict. It enabled the man to make wise decisions when he became Tsuchikage of Iwa and led the village to prosperity. Of course, the man was able to make the necessary smart moves in his later years because he had been rather impulsive at times and still is on occasion. His back was now suffering as well. All of our guards have been doubled at the walls. Tsuchikage-sama will know if the Emperor attacks. One Iwa ANBU captain said, nodding to Tsuchikage. Earth Country is the last country left, just as Iwa is the last shinobi village not under this Emperor's control. Though I doubt such a thing will last much longer, Onoki observed as his granddaughter entered the room, frowning heavily. This emperor has single-handedly claimed every major country and shinobi village. It won't be long before he comes for us. The only reason Iwa and Earth Country remain independent is because our defenses rival Kumo's in terms of being natural, and we can shift things around to our advantage in manipulating the ground around us. We can do far more damage defensively than Kumo could, and this emperor knows it, Kuretsuchi said, with Onoki nodding and sighing. It won't last forever. He has veteran ninja on his side. Veterans who have been in Earth Country before during previous wars and can map out the best routes to take with his army, Onoki said, while Kuretsuchi didn't seem entirely convinced they'd succumb to this foe. How are Han and Roshi? Did the team sent to bring them back to Iwa return? Kuretsuchi asked, and Onoki shrugged. No, they haven't. That's what concerns me the most, replied Onoki, knowing that Iwa had not treated those two well because of their Jinchuriki status. It could be the Akatsuki, Kuretsuchi said, shaking his head. No, they've been losing significant ground since Minato's brat rise to power and began his various conquests throughout the elemental countries. They no longer have the strength to oppose a shinobi village, let alone take a Jinchuriki from one. No, this is the gaki for a proclaimed emperor getting to them both before us and offering them a better life elsewhere if they want it. Clearly those two traitors took it, Onoki replied. Of course they took it, Naruto said as he emerged from the shadows to Tsuchikage's right. How did you get in here? Demanded Kuretsuchi, who was preparing to fight like her grandfather while floating several feet above the ground. I'm more than just a solid massive muscle, old man. Besides, I had help from one of my best spies and infiltrators to ever walk among the realms. He knew exactly when to sneak me in here, and the patrols your ninja go through down to the last second. Naruto replied as Onoki narrowed his eyes at him. What do you want? My unconditional surrender of Iwa, Onoki asked, amusedly shrugging. Perhaps. That way you can still run things here in Iwa and no blood will be spilled in this village. Do you really want to make the same mistake as the others who opposed me? Challenged Naruto, Onoki scowling even more. Many in Iwa would like to have your head simply because you are Minato's boy, and he did kill a lot of my ninja during the last war, Onoki said, his helmeted face smirking. Yes, I know, but I am not my father. My father is dead. He died saving his village. He died for Konoha, a village that had forsaken his own child regardless if they knew I was his offspring or not. Doesn't that information ease your vengeful heart, knowing that the very village my father died protecting turned on his own son? Questioned Naruto, with Onoki remaining silent for a moment because he had heard the rumors about a little, but I am just one old man. The other ninja and people of Iwa will not be so understanding. Many lost brothers, fathers, cousins, uncles, and more because of your father. They will not be so willing to submit to you as their new overall master, even with me as the Tsuchikage, Onoki remarked, his hatred for the yellow flash and his offspring running deep. Before Naruto could continue, multiple explosions echoed outside the Tsuchikage tower, making Naruto frown because he had not ordered an attack on the village. Tsuchikage and his granddaughter tensed, convinced that the emperor had launched a surprise attack, and braced themselves for a fight with him. They were surprised to see the young warrior looking out the window with his back to them and a frown behind his helmet-covered face. It wasn't until Naruto smashed the window and leapt out into the village instead of fighting them that they realized this was not part of the young conqueror's plans for Iwa. They were surprised to see Naruto staring down at the one person they did not expect to see among the living, and in the heart of Iwa when they decided to leap out the same window as the Emperor. Yondaime Hokage in person. Minato, Namikaze. I almost don't believe it. Raiden brought you back to the land mortals, no doubt to stop me, Naruto observed, his wrath hammer now in hand and his gaze narrowed at his father. Yes, I am back, but not by choice. Raiden traded with the Shinigami using the soul of another. Ironically, the trade was myself for Uchiha Obaido, my old student, the one responsible for the fox attacking Konoha the night you were born. Minato responded as Naruto's eyes narrowed. I've heard of him. He was supposed to be dead, like you, Naruto said, as Minato nodded. I thought he was at the time because I was a Jounin sensei during the Third Shinobi War, and I had gotten a mission report from both his teammates about what happened to him. I had no reason to doubt Obaido died when both Kakashi and Rin said a boulder crushed most of his body, Minato replied sadly, while Naruto snarled. Do not speak to me about headache. He made my life miserable for most of my childhood, just like most of Konoha. The village you loved so much showed their true colors when it came to how they felt I should be treated, remarked Naruto, with Minato nodding because Kushina had warned him about that prior to his plan to seal the Kyuubi into Naruto when Obaido put the Biju under his control to use against the village when Obaido put the Biju under. I see. So even Kakashi has betrayed my wishes. Minato sighed as he saw in Naruto's eyes that Kakashi was no longer among the living. All three of his students had died. Yes, he did. Kakashi followed the Sandaime's method of using me as a puppet and slave for Konoha. The man even attempted treason of all things to get his oh-so-precious Uchiha for a student to be the next Hokage after Tsunade gave up the hat. What does that tell you? Said Naruto, with Minato nodding before his face became deadly serious and was now surrounded by golden chakra. The time for talking was up. I'm sorry you've suffered all these years, Naruto, but Lord Raiden has commanded that I kill you in his name to stop your potential future threat to the realms, Minato said, as Naruto's eyes narrowed at the sight of the Yondaime Hokage in this form. You're using the other half of Kurama sealed inside your body, which is impressive, but then mine is far more natural, exclaimed Naruto as his own crimson flame consumed him and let out a demonic laugh. I see. No wonder Lord Raiden fears you. Your power is truly awesome, Minato remarked, mostly to himself. Enough talk. Fight, exclaimed Naruto before charging at his father and delivering a shoulder tackle to the slightly surprised man. Minato flipped back, landing on his feet, skidding violently when he channeled chakra to his feet, and calculatingly looking at his son. Minato moved as quickly as Naruto and punched him in the stomach after a few seconds. Naruto exclaimed in surprise as he felt pain from the blow, which was followed by an uppercut from Minato and a spin kick to the face. Naruto gave his father a wicked grin. For years, Naruto had fantasized about facing the Yondaime Hokage. To oppose his father, Konoha praised this man from sunrise to sunset for his achievements, while Iwa cursed him equally. Naruto had sparred with his forefather, Shao Khan, numerous times, trained with countless outworld warriors, and fought on the front lines of battle to get to where he was now. Naruto would finally have the opportunity to fight in a real fight. They were extremely rare. Fighting the Raikage was difficult, but it came after fighting B, so it was difficult to say if that fight would have been difficult from the start. The Akatsuki's power was nearly depleted. If what his father said was true, the true leader of the Akatsuki had been sacrificed to bring the man back to mortal land to fight his own son. The remaining members would either leave the organization or turn on each other for the right to the scraps left behind. Such cruelty was appropriate for the elder gods. They did such things when they wanted to. I'm going to enjoy crushing you in battle, father. I know why you did what you did when I was a child. I understand it. I respect it. But all the same, I hate you for trusting Konoha so recklessly with my life, exclaimed Naruto before entering his father's personal space and hitting the former Yondaime Hokage right in the chest with his wrath hammer. Such strength. I would be dead if it weren't for the fact that I am technically still dead and under the Elder God's command with the Kyuubi chakra mode activated. His own version is more refined, even perfected, because the Biju I sealed in him is no longer sealed, but rather merged into him as one entity, and he can handle the power that comes with it. If we weren't fighting right now, Naruto, I would be proud of you, Minato thought before moving in close to hit his son again with various taijutsu combos. On the sidelines, Onoki, Kiritsuchi, and pretty much every other Iwa ninja in the village were stunned as the Yondaime Hokage engaged in a fight to the death with his only son. They never expected to see this in 100 years because the Yondaime was supposed to be dead, and they had no idea the man would even consider killing his son, even if it was on the orders of an elder god. Father and son clashed violently in the heart of Iwa, using their speed, strength, agility, and weapons of choice to determine the victor of this all-out fight. Unfortunately for Minato, He had not met a warrior like his son had become over the years, and it was clear Naruto had quite a few years of fighting under his belt. It was further demonstrated when Naruto took part in a Rasengan his father made to the torso before grabbing the offending limb and punching the man hard multiple times. To be more specific, right in the gut. Naruto landed a massive uppercut to the former Hokage's jaw, causing Minato to gasp in pain with each hit. Minato was thrown backward by the punch, bouncing once in a small roll, and skidding hard before coming to a stop. His Kyuubi chakra mode was beginning to wane noticeably. "Where is the pathetic elder god who brought you back now, father?" inquired Naruto before letting out a mocking chuckle and approaching his downed father with a clear sense of superiority in this fight. Naruto ... You need to stop this. Stop this world conquest. Raiden will not stand for it. He will find a way to stop you without the interference of the other elder gods. As strong as you are now, your strength is not at his level yet. You are not ready to fight him for the right to rule this realm, exclaimed Minato before being picked up by Naruto with his massive hand on his shinobi attire. The Thunder God's ever-pathetic attempts to shackle my advances for stability in this world no longer shackles me, Naruto said before punching his father in the face and backhanding him several times until Minato's Kyuubi chakra mode faded away. When Naruto noticed the man was dazed from the blows to the head, he threw him into the air for all of Iwa to see, and soon after, the man crashed onto the dirty ground. The former Hokage of Konoha had clearly taken a beating, more than anyone had ever seen him take while alive, and even more so now. Naruto, you don't understand. Raiden is afraid you will merge the realms, that you will be able to get around it without the Elder Gods interfering. He fears you will find a loophole in the rules the Elder Gods made about the merging of the realms. He fears you will be the merger of Earthrealm with Outworld, exclaimed Minato while attempting to stand, but failing due to his body suffering from the abuse his son had landed on him earlier. My forefather Shao Khan told me all about Raiden from their many years fighting each other. The Thunder God always did portray himself as a mighty deity of this realm. A little lightning here, words of wisdom there, but in fact Raiden did not have the might, or even the right to dictate policy. He is and always was in truth a toothless worm, Naruto replied as he walked over to the downed Minato, stomping on his chest and, even if what you say is true, his power is still greater than yours. You need something more, Minato said in pain, and his son chuckled. I know, and, ironically, Raiden has given it to me. Through you, Naruto replied before picking up the barely conscious man and pressing his hand into the seal on Minato's body. Exclaimed Minato, feeling the Biju's other half, which had been sealed inside his body for years, leave him. Your time, like Raiden's, has passed. This realm now belongs to me, Naruto said as he finished taking Kurama's other half and merging it with himself to eventually make him stronger. Naruto threw his father's body yet again, amused by his father's struggle to rise despite his new injury. The Emperor would grant him that much determination. However, all good things must come to an end. You are truly surprising, Naruto, without a doubt, Minato said to himself. Raiden spent all this time putting up foolish resistance. Wave after wave of enemies have come and gone, fallen by my hands. You know as well as I do, father, that deep down, I have won, Naruto said as he walked toward his father with the wrath hammer in his hands and turned to face the man still on his knees on the ground. Yes, you have won. Against me, and soon. Against Raiden himself, Minato replied, admitting to himself that his son was the stronger warrior, and would win this fight. Goodbye, father. Your world as you and Raiden know it is about to come to an end, Naruto said before letting out a war cry and raising his wrath hammer over his head to strike his own father. Goodbye, son, and know that despite everything, I still love you, Minato said quietly as he looked up at his son and saw the wrath hammer fall. After that, everything went dark for Konoha's former Hokage. All Naruto could see at the time was the crimson color that was red. He saw it on the ground, on the buildings, and on himself since his father was struck by his wrath hammer. The giant of a man turned to face the Tsuchikage, who had landed in front of him with his granddaughter, and a platoon of Iwa, his power slowly fading. Is that enough to gain your allegiance to my growing empire? Will the people of Iwa join me now, Sandaime Tsuchikage? Asked Naruto, knowing that many Iwa ninja wanted to kill the Yondaime Hokage for what he did in the war, and had just witnessed the man's demise, not to mention at the hands of his own son. Tsuchikage, for his part, was once again calculating the odds of fighting this man in front of him, and winning against the impressive beast Naruto truly was at heart. Sure, Onoki had his granddaughter, his Anbu, and pretty much the entire Iwa army ready to fight Naruto. a man who had been fighting his father and was undoubtedly weakened to the point where he couldn't take on all of Iwa. Right? But the Tsuchikage did not become the Tsuchikage by acting rashly, as some of the other cages did, such as the Reikage of Kumo, who died not long ago, according to what his spies told him. No, Onoki knew that the man in front of them was the leader of an empire, and that his army was no doubt nearby, ready to fight Iwa until they were killed or beaten into submission, with the survivors joining or becoming missing nin. Even if they were successful in defeating the young emperor, the army the man commanded would finish them off, and the Tsuchikage suspected the two Jinchuriki Iwa once possessed would help lead the charge. I think we can work something out for Iwa accepting you ... my emperor. Tsuchikage replied with a slight bow, followed by the others, including Kuretsuchi. Was it Naruto's imagination, or was she blushing? Who knew seeing Iwa's most despised foe die at the hands of his offspring would get the woman all worked up? Good to hear. Contrary to popular belief, I don't want to fight anyone unless absolutely necessary. I also know that having Iwa, along with the rest of Earth Country, absorbed fully into my empire is preferable to fighting it and reducing everything about Iwa to a fraction of its former self. Please inform your daimyo that you are supporting me from now on, and as long as he does the same, I won't have to find his replacement, Naruto replied before walking out. And an elder and thunder god of the realm it guarded, standing on a high mountain top near Iwa, felt a cold chill run up his spine. What did you say, Shadow Priest? Shao Khan asked, leaning forward and staring at the robed figure who, like all shadow priests under his command, was a master of sorcery. I have figured out a way for you to merge Earthrealm and Outworld without provoking the Elder God's wrath, said the shadow priest Tao before Shao Khan. Explain, Shao Khan demanded as he and his other generals listened intently to this information. As you know, the Elder Gods have forbidden the merging of realms through conquest, and even mortal combat tournaments. As such, any attempt by trying either of these methods would violate the Elder Gods' rules, and bring their power down on the one who broke their rules. However, there is one other way to merge two realms together that does not violate the rules, and is completely within your power to do, Tao replied while Shao K. What must I do to secure Earthrealm? Shao Khan inquired, surprised by the Shadow Priest's hesitation. Respectfully, my emperor, the only way to set things in motion is for you to die, replied Tao, who soon found himself surrounded by Tarkatan demons, forced to his knees, and blades poised to run him through. Only Shao Kahn's massive hand rising quickly to stop them made the Outworld's demon warriors obey. I will trust that your words were not a hint of treason against me, Shadow Priest, Shao Khan said, with Tao nodding, despite the Tarkatan demon's refusal to release him. Melina growled at Tao and had her sighs ready to spill the Shadow Priest's blood next to Shao Kahn's massive throne. My words are not of treason, my emperor. I am not stupid enough to speak in such a way to promote treason and expect to walk out of here with my life. I am merely stating your death is part of a process to merge the realms together, Tao explained, while Shao Khan didn't like the idea of dying, but was equally curious about how his death would allow the realms to merge without the Elder Gods unleashing their fury. What is the overall process? Shao Khan inquired, keeping an eye out for any signs of deception or lying from Tao. As you are aware, Melina is the current proclaimed heir to the throne of Outworld, while your bloodline descendant in Earthrealm is increasing his own power, and has made himself an emperor to rule over the lands. Tao began, with Shao Khan nodding and grinning at how his legacy in Earthrealm was carving out his own empire. Of course, Naruto visits me on many occasions seeking guidance and wisdom from my years of ruling Outworld, and he was even able to provide my daughter with someone worthy of courting, Shao Khan remarked, while Melina swooned at the mere mention of Kimimaro. Alas, because Melina is not of your blood, she cannot sit on your throne, Tao added, causing Shao Kahn's eyes to narrow and Melina to move to kill him. I'll enjoy presenting your robed head to my lover, Melina said sinisterly to Tao, size in hand. Melina, yells Shao Khan, the woman holding back from striking the Shadow Priest for the time being. While this shocking news is disheartening and no doubt upsetting to hear, my emperor, Tao said, it is nonetheless part of a process to merge the realms, not just Outworld and Earthrealm, but also Edenia, which was separated from Outworld ages ago for reasons we all know. Explain yourself, Shadow Priest. I have yet to see the connection, Shao Khan said, urging Tao to get to the point. Yes, my emperor. One of the rare ways known for joining two realms together would be through marriage between sides who are by blood the ones with the right to rule over their chosen realm. As Melina is Princess Katana's twin sister, she is also by blood, able to have a say in what fate should befall Edenia. I see, but how does my death help merge Outworld and Earthrealm? Inquired Shao Khan, his patience wearing thin. Upon our death, your bloodline descendant in Earthrealm would need to take the throne here to prevent a possible war of unrest. If the young man, who is of your blood, does this, he can effectively merge the realms together to rule over both as one realm. The Elder Gods cannot forbid this in any shape or form, as it does not violate the rules, since Naruto would be the one to rule Outworld by right of succession. Tao replied, while Shao Khan thought, I think I understand now. Because Milena is with Kimimaro from Earthrealm, my legacy there can absorb Edenia, and upon my death, my true successor to the throne by blood would get Outworld as well, Shao Khan speculated, while Milena looked like she had been punched by her father. But what will become of me, father? Milena wondered as she noticed the man's gaze on her. My child, you have nothing to fear from Naruto. Naruto has always admired you and will not put your happiness with young Kimimaro at risk. In fact, I believe your position within my ranks will be strengthened by this marriage with Naruto's most loyal warrior, and both will protect you from any potential threats, said Shao Khan, while Milena nodded because she had talked with Naruto on several occasions and had formed a sort of family bond with him. It was strange, but what family isn't? There's still the minor issue of how you're going to die for this plan to work, my emperor. Baraka said for the first time since hearing this, causing Shao Khan to frown. Fool, I intend to die the only way an emperor of my stature should via immortal combat. Shao Khan exclaimed, knowing that if he was going to die, it would be on his terms, and on the terms of a warrior. But who would you be up against? Who has the stamina to fight you to the death? Inquired Baraka, who had no intention of doing so, nor did the other generals from the various races of Outworld under his command. The warrior I've chosen for this fight to the death will be Kimimaro, Milena's future husband and lover, declared Shao Khan, while Milena looked shocked and a little scared. Where is my Kimimaro? But father he will not strike you down, protested Milena, knowing that her lover would not dare to fight Shao Khan for fear of separating the Kaguya clan member and the female Tarkatan Edenian hybrid. Kimimaro is a capable warrior. I've seen it for myself. If he wants to court you and still be your future husband, he will have to face me in mortal combat, Shao Khan declared, Milena looking unsure how to approach this. On the one hand, if Kimimaro won, she would gain a husband, but she would lose her father in the process. On the other hand, if Kimimaro lost, she would keep her father but lose the only male in all the realms worthy of being her husband. It wasn't right. I'll go tell him, father. It's only fair that I tell him as his woman, Milena said, with Shao Khan nodding. Please notify Naruto of this situation as well. He must be aware of what his future holds for him here in Outworld, as well as the merging of our realms, Shao Khan said as he watched Milena bow, and soon enter a portal that would take her to her intended destination in Earthrealm. Are you certain about this? Asked Naruto, his face frowning despite being covered by his own war helmet. Yes, father wishes this to happen on both counts, Milena replied as she headed straight for the Elemental Palace, which was once just the late Fire Daimyo's castle, and had undergone various construction-based modifications since Naruto took over. Naruto sighed heavily, knowing that no matter what happened, they would lose in some way. Neither Naruto nor Milena wanted Shao Khan or Kimimaro to die anytime soon. But it appeared that such a decision was out of their hands. For this marriage to happen, let alone the merging of three realms in no particular order, this one fight had to happen. I will notify Kimimaro of this. I had hoped to leave a legacy or two for my forefather through me, to see my own children grow up before he showed signs of impending death. Shao Khan will die a warrior's death, at the very least. When did forefather want this fight to take place? Replied Naruto, Milena saddened by the fact that she would be losing her father in order to gain a husband. I believe within 2 weeks. It will happen in the Outworld battle arena, Milena replied, with Naruto nodding. I understand your concern in this matter, Milena. Don't worry, Kimimaro will understand, Naruto said, smiling behind Milena's pink mask. Please let him know that I expect him to fight to the best of his ability. My father expects him to fight with all of his strength. He will accept nothing less from my future husband, Milena said, as she had wanted to tell him but was afraid of what Kimimaro would say. I will. Return to Outworld, Milena. Go spend time with your father, Naruto replied, and Milena nodded before departing via the Outworld portal. If all three realms merge, the feud between the Shokan and the Centaurians may resurface, Shiva observed as she turned to see her husband nodding, as he had proposed having her people come to Earthrealm to end such a feud. However, Shiva, I believe we can avoid such a problem if we handle this matter properly. As it stands, the Shokan have a high standing as a result of your marriage to me. If we are to keep the peace with your rivals, I must have a centurion like Minato as a general of my forces, and ensure they know I value their race," explained Naruto, despite Shiva's displeasure. After all, she trusted him to make the right decision. "I never thought I'd be planning the end of my future father-in-life laws in this room." Kimimaro lamented after Naruto told him everything in private because no one was allowed in this area unless authorized. Neither do I. Milena, like Kimimaro, is dissatisfied with the situation. She, on the other hand, wants you to fight her father with everything you've got. Shao Khan feels the same way. "I know in your heart that killing my forefather and future father-in-law is not something you want to do ... but it is something you must do," Naruto replied, with Kimimaro nodding and his eyes showing he understood what was at stake and why this had to happen. "I will fight with all my might, my entire strength. When the time comes to eliminate Shao Khan, it will be swift. It will be done with the dignity of a warrior, the fitting of an emperor," Kimimaro stated firmly, while Naruto nodded. "I doubt he'd want it any other way," Naruto said, placing a hand on the albino ninja's shoulder. Kimimaro could only nod in response to his master's words and went off to privately train, not only to strengthen his body, but also to strengthen his mind. Raiden raged angrily, his eyes flashing with electricity at his failure to crush Shao Kahn's descendant, and the machinations of the young man about to merge 3 realms into one. Worse, the Thunder God was unable to obtain the soul of Uzumaki Kushina, even when he provided Shinnok with a female missing nin to trade. The former Elder God laughed at him, and claimed he didn't have her soul. The Thunder God only realized later that Uzumaki Kushina had sealed her soul into Naruto to serve as a protective guard against the fox once sealed inside Naruto, and it would now stand to reason that Kushina's soul was within her son, where it was beyond his reach. "Raiden, you must put an end to this. I implore you. This is insane. Everything you've done to prevent this young emperor from carrying out his plan has not only failed, but has also strengthened him. You're just making matters worse for yourself," pleaded Fujin, looking at his friend and fellow god. "If I don't do anything, Fujin, everything as we know it will change, and not for the better," Raiden said, shaking his head. "You have no idea. You're so afraid of the worst-case scenario that you can't see it happening through your own hands. You push the situation to this point. Raiden, you can no longer interfere. You can only watch. Anything else is forbidden by the other elder gods. You're lucky they didn't punish you for bringing the boy's father back to attack him," Fujin said, as Raiden scowled even more at the thought of his plan backfiring. And the end result had strengthened Naruto even more. "I need to provoke Naruto into fighting me in Mortal Kombat. Only then will I be free to kill him without interference from the other elder gods," Raiden thought, but knew it would be difficult and needed to provoke the emperor into a fight. Raiden considered his options and realized that he could still go after one more Uzumaki who was not under Naruto's command. Nagato Uzumaki, also known as Pain of the Akatsuki. Crush him and the Akatsuki as a whole, and the kidnapping of several people would force Shao Kahn's descendant to fight him. Kimimaro faced Shao Khan, who was already there, wrath hammer in hand, ready for battle. The 2 warriors stared at each other, burning determination in their eyes. This was a fight to the death, and only one of them could walk away. By the end of the day, the other would be dead and rotting. And yet, deep down, neither of them wanted to do it, but they had no choice. Kimimaro had finally married Milena, and the 2 exchanged sacred vows in front of Shao Kahn and Naruto, with Milena offering Edenia to Earthrealm as a dowry to be merged after the marriage was made. While the 2 realms merged together as one, Kimimaro and Milena went to a private area in Earthrealm for their honeymoon that was provided by Naruto where the 2 could be alone. Kimimaro asked Milena during their honeymoon after they finished rutting together if she could forgive him for what he had to do in the coming week in facing Shao Kahn. If she could still love him after he killed the only real father the female Tarkat and Edenian hybrid had ever known. Milena, for her part, looked at him with loving and caring eyes, which was unusual for her because her eyes were normally filled with rage, bloodlust, and the desire to rip into someone's flesh. The woman told Kimimaro that she knew what was at stake and couldn't hate him for what was to come. Her father was going to die. It seemed written in stone. The way he died, however, was the man's choice, and who would be the one to end him too? All Milena could ask of Kimimaro was that he fight her father with all his power, and win by giving Shao Kahn a warrior's death. She also told him that her father, even after all these years, still had pride in being the strongest warrior in all of Outworld, and told Kimimaro that her father would give his all in their fight. No pulled punches, no holding back. It was going to be an all-out fight to the death and the Emperor of Outworld. Kimimaro swore to Milena that he would win, but it would be a victory he would never enjoy or be proud of. "I must do this for Naruto-sama and Milena Heim, but also for the realms. Shao Kahn-sama also wants this, despite the fact that it will result in his death, to merge Outworld and Earthrealm. Kimimaro thought as he took a fighting stance. Kimimaro, don't hold anything back. I will accept nothing less from the man who has earned my daughter's heart and hand in marriage, Shao Kahn said, with Kimimaro nodding with conviction in his eyes. The same goes for you, Shao Kahn-sama. No matter what happens, it was an honor fighting you, Kimimaro said, with Shao Kahn chuckling. Something tells me the honor will be mine, Shao Kahn said before hardening his eyes and preparing for his fight with Kimimaro, while Naruto sat in Shao Kahn's chair in the battle arena and would be the one to supervise this match. Ready, fight, exclaimed Naruto as he lowered his hand and began the match, one of the most brutal in the entire Outworld. Kimimaro danced around Shao Kahn, summoning bone-like weapons to his hands and lashing out at the Emperor of Outworld with all of the fury his clan was known for. As for Shao Kahn, the man had lost none of his power or physical prowess when it came to fighting others, and it showed with his incredible speed matching his awesome strength. Mileena watched the battle with sadness in her eyes, knowing that one of the two men fighting in front of her eyes was about to die. While Shao Kahn had to die in order to bring the Outworld and Earthrealm together, the man was not going down without a fight, and the Emperor rarely lost to anyone. The last time Shao Kahn had lost was to the Elder Gods after they had used Raiden's body to channel their power as a whole. Of course, everyone assumed the man died after all that remained of him when it was over was the damaged war helmet. But death was too merciful to the Elder Gods, and secretly bound the man in chains to the Netherrealm in areas few would travel or know about. What no one realized was that Shao Kahn was incredibly stubborn, and would not let his chains bind him to the Netherrealm for long. Reptile had traveled to Hell and managed to find his masters sent there before finding the fallen emperor bound by the Elder Gods. To prove his loyalty, Reptile carefully used the acid from his mouth to weaken the chains that bound Shao Kahn to the point where the man could break them. Shao Kahn became enraged, returned to Outworld to reclaim his throne, and took command of his armies. Once that was done, the emperor turned his attention back to the war between Shinnok and Raiden, which the latter was losing, and decided to step in, much to the surprise of both godly entities. When the brutality became too much for Shinnok, he tried to fight back before begging and pleading for his life. Quan Kai tried to flee after seeing his master on the ground in such a weakened state, but Shao Kahn quickly put a stop to that with a few light spears to the back. In fact, Shinnok would have died that day if it hadn't been for the Elder Gods' intervention yet again, and how they would punish Shinnok accordingly from there. Raiden had also asked the Elder Gods to vanquish Shao Kahn, but the Elder Gods refused, citing Mortal Kombat rules before taking Shinnok away. It wasn't until Shao Kahn left to return to Outworld, and Raiden's arguments about the safety of the realms, that the Elder Gods unanimously decided that they needed more protection with stricter rules, because continued fighting would destabilize the realms, bringing about the apocalypse and possibly the return of the One Being. Since then, no one has been able to merge any of the realms, not even through the Mortal Kombat tournaments, which the Elder Gods banned. And, as with all things, the rules of the Elder Gods could not be broken, the only true exception being this battle. Excellent, I haven't had so much fun in years, exclaimed Shao Kahn joyfully, his body marked by wounds and blood, and a few of the Kaguya's bone spike projectiles stuck in his body for good measure. He's so strong. Even I never imagined Shao Kahn had this much strength. The only one I believed to be this strong was Naruto-sama, though given the two are linked by blood, it's not surprising Naruto-sama is as strong as he is right now, thought Kimimaro while breathing heavily, his body covered in his own share of blood, injuries, and one mean-looking bruise to the right side of his albino face caused by. Kimimaro made a vicious-looking whip from his own spine, but Shao Kahn still had amazing speed on his side, and dodged each strike Kimimaro launched before retaliating with a few light spears. The projectiles were barely dodged or blocked using the spine whip, but the last action was all Shao Kahn needed to send the Kaguya falling back and skidding along the ground. You've done well thus far, Kimimaro. Nobody has ever fought me for this long. Don't give up. Remember why you're here, yelled Shao Kahn as Kimimaro spit out some blood in his mouth, his resolve strengthening as he looked over at Mileena, who nodded that even after everything she had seen the woman was still supporting him. The Kaguya made a mental note to make love to her once his body was completely healed and beg her forgiveness, even though he already had it. I have not forgotten, Kimimaro said quietly as he wrapped a bone lance around his right arm. It was time to make the kill. Well, then, what are you waiting for? Get up. Take a seat. Get up and fight me, yelled Shao Kahn, as his power encircled him and beckoned Kimimaro forward to attack. Kimimaro knew this was the moment when the two of them would clash and only one of them would walk away. Kimimaro moved forward, his bone lace for an arm cocked back, ready to thrust forward and pierce the Emperor's body. As for Shao Khan, he saw the attack coming easily enough and rushed toward with the intent to meet it halfway. His wrath hammer in hand, ready to swing it and send Kimimaro's head clean right off his shoulders. The wrath hammer was barely an inch from his nose, and any closer would have taken his nose, and a good chunk of his face clean off. Shao Khan moved to bring his wrath hammer down on Kimimaro vertically this time, while the Kaguya leaped over the giant man, spun around the moment his feet hit the ground, and rushed forward. Kimimaro took full advantage of this and pierced Shao Kahn's torso right through the middle, the Emperor's blood staining the bone lance while his mind struggled to not only stay alive, but to comprehend the simple fact that someone had actually killed him. Off to the side, Naruto watched his forefather's weapon of choice slip from his grasp and life leave the man's crimson eyes. And yet, despite all of this, Emperor Shao Kahn had a faint smile on his lips. A knowing smile, an understanding smile, a smile of a man who had made peace with his death. As for Melina, she felt tears well up in her eyes as she saw the man she called father die right in front of her eyes. This man, who had ordered her very creation, called her daughter, given her a name, and given her purpose under his command, was dying. And it wasn't at the hands of an enemy to his throne like it had been ages ago with Raiden's own chosen warriors back when the Mortal Kombat tournament was still being used. Well Kimimaro. You are indeed worthy of my daughter, rasped Shao Kahn before falling to his knees, slumping forward, being held by Kimimaro before being turned over onto his back onto the ground, and the Kaguya removing the bone lance from the giant man's body. Thank you very much, Shao Kahn-sama. Goodbye, Kimimaro said quietly before the normally stoic warrior burst into tears, knowing what he had done and who it had hurt. Shao Kahn, the conqueror of realms died, and the conqueror was defeated. Kaguya Kimimaro is the winner, declared Naruto as his own eyes fought back tears he wanted to shed but couldn't because he respected his forefather and knew Shao Kahn didn't want his heir to shed them. Kimimaro was crying because Melina, the one he loved, had been emotionally hurt by this, and he didn't want to hurt the Edenian, Tarkatan hybrid woman in any way. Naruto and Melina walked over to Kimimaro and Shao Kahn's bodies without saying anything. All Naruto could do now was put a hand on the Kaguya's shoulder, giving it a firm squeeze before looking at Melina and telling her to give the man the comfort he needed. Come on, Kimimaro-kun. Let us enter the palace. We need to clean you up, and Naruto-sama needs to address the people in the arena. Melina replied calmly, while Kimimaro looked at her for a moment before nodding. I will never hurt you like this again, my love. I swear to you. Kimimaro whispered as he noticed Melina looking at him with love in her eyes and holding him close. I recognize Kimimaro-kun. I'm not upset with you. My father was sentenced to death as a warrior. It was exactly what he desired. In the end, you made him a happy man, and thus I am happy, Melina said as she led Kimimaro away from the arena. Know that I will always love you, Kimimaro said quietly, his guilt evident in his words, and Melina shushed him silently with a single index finger on his lips. Enough with that. Let's get you cleaned up and then we can spend the rest of the day together. Alone. There is no fighting. There is no mating. Just holding each other like lovers, Melina replied, looking at Kimimaro, who nodded. After that, they walked away without saying anything. I am your new emperor of this realm, people of Outworld, as of today. My forefather, the now deceased Emperor Shao Kahn, named me heir to the throne, as is my right by blood. As a result, I now rule 2 realms as emperor of both, but such a feat cannot be sustained because both realms are vast, and I cannot rule 2 realms independently. Henceforth, by the power invested in me by my birthright to rule Earthrealm and my blood right to rule Outworld, I hereby proclaim that both realms shall merge into a single one. Because I was born in Earthrealm, the realm of Outworld will be absorbed, as well as all the realms that were absorbed before it in the past prior to its own impending absorption, declared Naruto, with the crowd cheering because they had heard stories about Earthrealm with its clean air, water, and good food that you couldn't get in some places in Outworld. Outworld would now become a part of Earthrealm, reaping the benefits of its labors, opening up new trade routes and meeting new people, while their new emperor grew stronger in the process, and that strength would be used to help his domain grow stronger. The new emperor lives. The new emperor lives, chanted the crowd, while Naruto basked in their applause in the moment. When he was finished, Naruto summoned several Outworld soldiers to assist him in carrying Shao Kahn's body out of the arena to be buried with dignity and, above all, with respect. It marked the end of an era and the start of a new one. AIM was in shambles, a crater that wiped out everything and everyone in it. There wasn't even a bone, a corpse, or a piece of construction material to identify what had once been there. What had been present? Who had been present? Well, almost. We need to move quickly, a terrified Conan said as she carried Nagato through the trees while running as fast as she could from the enemy on their tail. My paths are still stalling him, but they will not last long, Nagato, formerly known as Pain, murmured as he struggled to concentrate on using his paths to fight the enemy. To think he would go so far as to try to kill us, only because you refused to engage in combat with your own cousin, Conan remarked while Nagato nodded. My cousin has been restoring order to a war-torn world. Not just ours, but that of his forefather Shao Khan. He is accomplishing what I could not in such a short period of time. We would betray my cousin and what we wanted from the start if we sided with Raiden. I will not let peace be lost simply because an enraged elder god dislikes the method or the person who employs it, Nagato muttered as he ignored the fact that Raiden had just destroyed 2 of his paths by overloading them both after grabbing the bodies and causing the 2 to explode with lightning. The angry form of Raiden had appeared on the Akatsuki's doorsteps after the realms of Outworld, Edenia, and Earthrealm had merged. The remaining members had no idea the Elder God had kidnapped the true, but hidden, leader of the organization in order to bring back the Yondaime Hokage to fight the new emperor of the merged realms. Raiden had demanded Pain's response to his offer, but the Akatsuki's official leader had said no, and that he would not jeopardize his cousin's path to peace. Raiden had threatened to crush Pain, Conan, and the rest of the Akatsuki if he refused the offer to kill Naruto at this point. The Akatsuki reacted angrily to the threat, arming themselves for battle in the belief that, Elder God or not, they could defeat Raiden if they worked together successfully. They should have known better than to challenge an angry deity capable of unleashing a bolt of lightning powerful enough to turn the mad bomber of Iwa green with envy. Conan barely escaped and grabbed Nagato while the Uzumaki used his paths to lead them out of AIM before it was violently destroyed. When Raiden realized both remaining members were still alive, he pursued them and was now fighting Nagato's paths. AIM has left. Yahiko's body has vanished. The Akatsuki has vanished. Everything we've had since we were children is now gone, Conan remarked sadly. Conan, you still have me. For as long as my body allows, Nagato replied weakly because his body was weakening with each passing day. Your cousin's abilities may be able to heal you. If not, he may know someone who is. Nagato nodded as Conan offered. If we live that long, Nagato replied, knowing that Raiden would soon catch up to them. The skies above were sprayed with lightning, descending in the vicinity of them, slamming into the trees, generating intense heat, and igniting fires all around them. Some of the lightning almost struck Conan and Nagato, but they were able to get out of the way in time before Raiden appeared in front of them, his face filled with rage. The Elder God struck both surviving Akatsuki members with lightning before they could say or do anything. Raiden was attacking them mercilessly as they screamed in pain from the assault. You should have accepted my offer when you had the opportunity. You two will now face only oblivion. Raiden yelled angrily as he continued to blast them with lightning from his hand, ignoring their screams. Says who? Asked Naruto, emerging from the shadows and hurling a light spear at Raiden, the projectile striking the Elder God's shoulder. You dare to hit me? And what about Elder God? Raiden demanded angrily, turning his full attention to Naruto. Naruto gave him a sly grin. He certainly dared. It didn't take long to figure out who had the power to bring his father back to fight him. It didn't hurt that Jiraiya's spies had informed him that the Akatsuki were missing a member around that time, meaning Raiden approached the Akatsuki to stop him, but they refused for whatever reason. They chose to avoid such a confrontation. Nonetheless, the lightning used by Raiden to destroy their HQ in AIM could be seen from Konoha, and Naruto was already on his way to AIM to finish consolidating his power. The only official threat to his rule remained the Akatsuki, with the Elder God now in front of him acting as an unofficial threat. Not only was Shao Kahn's legacy in the form of his bloodline alive and thriving despite Raiden's previous attempts, but Naruto was able to get around some of the Elder God's rules without violating them, and was stronger than ever. Granted, Raiden was involved as well, but by this point, the two powerhouses were nearly equal in that regard. When Naruto ripped the other half of the Kyuubi from his father into his body, it multiplied his power several times over, and the merging of 3 realms into one only added to it, much like Shao Kahn would have if he had been alive in his place. You may be an Elder God, but your time as one has seriously harmed your judgment when it comes to protecting the realm I now rule, Raiden. Do you honestly believe your actions will be tolerated after this? Questioned Naruto while holding his wrath hammer and keeping a close eye on Raiden. and ensuring that his stealthy operative reptile had successfully taken both of Raiden's lightning attack victims out of the Elder God's line of sight. My actions, both past and present, are what keep Earthrealm safe from the likes of you and your bloodline. Raiden raged. Really? Is this why you secretly helped my clan fall when they were attacked during the Second Shinobi War? Do you think I'm unaware of that? That I had no idea you did? All because, when compared to the Senju and Uchiha clans, who are also descended from Shao Khan, my side of the family was the strongest and brought out his power countered Naruto, while Raiden frowned because the Elder God had done the same. Raiden had instigated the downfall of the Uzumaki clan during the Second Shinobi War because he saw the threat the clan posed if allowed to flourish. Originally, he thought the Uchiha clan would be a problem because of Uchiha Madara and his clan's problems. That changed when the Senju clan persuaded them to help form Konoha and bring peace to the warring clans. Later, Hashirama defeated Madara, putting an end to Raiden's belief that he was the heir to Shao Kahn's throne should it become truly vacant. That changed when the Uzumaki clan revealed itself to him and Mito sealed the Kyuubi within her body. Following that event, Raiden focused on the Uzumaki clan's ancestry, and was shocked to learn that they were a cousin clan to the other two. Like the Uchiha and Senju clans, they are related to Shao Kahn's bloodline. The Uzumaki clan stood out from the other two because they were wild, uncontrollable, and walking powerhouses, much like Shao Kahn himself. When he first invaded, he nearly brought Earthrealm to its knees, and it took the entire might of the Elder Gods empowering Raiden to stop him from advancing further in his conquest of the realms. The Emperor of Outworld would be unstoppable if he discovered he had a small army of bloodline descendants and claimed them as his own. Even the rules established by the Elder Gods and their overall might would not be enough to defeat them. So Raiden did what was necessary. He didn't need to be concerned about the Senju clan. They embraced a peaceful nature while remaining ready to fight and were not aggressive in their desires. The Uchiha clan remained a minor annoyance, but without Madara to lead them, the clan was weak and no longer regarded as a true threat, even if Shao Kahn learned of them. Shao Kahn would have killed the Senju clan for being the polar opposite of his beliefs, and the Uchiha clan for being too weak and on the decline since Madara was presumed dead after his fight with Hashirama. The Uzumaki clan, on the other hand, embodied everything Shao Kahn would want to have serving him: chaos, strength, power, and endurance. Even more so if he discovered they were of his bloodline, with a potential heir among them to call his own. And, indeed, Raiden was correct when Shao Kahn named Uzumaki Naruto as his heir to the throne, despite Mileena's original claim. Of course, now that Naruto was ruling and she was on good terms with him, Mileena didn't mind the change at all. Not only that, but she was currently in love with Kimimaro and had no real ambitions to rule over the realm when being a well-connected family member seemed so much more appealing at the time. She could one day rule if there was no heir to Naruto's throne by blood, and given her own royal connection to Edenia's throne, she could make it legitimate if Mileena tried should such an event occur. With Kimimaro and the Tarkatans by her side, the woman would have the right to challenge any potential heirs to the throne. But, as previously stated, this was only if Naruto did not have any children with the numerous women he was currently seeing. Your clan was becoming undeniably powerful. I had no choice but to act, Raiden replied as the lightning around him flared. You should have just left us alone. You had no right to take away my family. Who knows what my life would have been like had they lived. You took a lot from me. Now I'm going to enjoy taking your life, Naruto darkly countered before hitting Raiden with a spiked shoulder tackle and sending the Elder God through some trees. I see. So you're challenging me, I guess. What about Mortal Kombat? Raiden was questioned, and Naruto nodded. I am. I challenge you to a game of Mortal Kombat. If I win, the Elder Gods will return the Uzumaki clan to Mortal Land and bring them back to life. Naruto knew he needed to be more specific in his terms because the Elder Gods have a habit of granting requests, but only through their interpretation of it. And if I win this contest, Earthrealm, Outworld, and Edenia will be split up again, with Outworld no longer being allowed to claim either for any reason. Raiden replied as Naruto nodded. Agreed, Naruto said before lightning and thunder echoed above, though it wasn't caused by Raiden's power. It had to be the Elder Gods. The terms have been agreed upon, and both parties will uphold them. It's a battle to the death. This match can only have one winner. Let Mortal Kombat begin. The Elder Gods were declared to be one. I'm going to do what should have been done long ago on the night of your birth, Uzumaki Naruto, Raiden said, lightning flashing from his hand. And what is that? Naruto inquired. To kill you, Uzumaki Naruto, Raiden replied coldly, while Naruto laughed. as if you were capable. And now it's Khan Naruto. In memory of my grandfather, remarked Naruto as he prepared for a fight. The two titans clashed violently with each other. Raiden uses his bow staff to counter Naruto's wrath hammer. Fists on the ground, blowing for blow, shoulder tackle to electrical attack in the air. Each gave as much as the other received. The ground around them had reduced the amount of ash and destruction. Raiden was hit by light spears when his lightning attacks missed Naruto, each one slamming into the other, leaving no room to breathe or recover. It wasn't just about winning a Mortal Kombat match for them. It was about surviving for their own respectful futures and believing in their own choices. You are powerful, even more powerful than Shao Khan, Raiden exclaimed, surprised, as he struggled to stand and fight against an almost equally battered Naruto. That's useful to know. When I taste victory, killing you will taste even sweeter, remarked Naruto, who was heavily bleeding, his helmet broken, and thrown off his head after Raiden headbutted him in the face while putting the Elder God in a bear hug rather than crushing the man's life. You will only taste blood and death when this is over, Raiden exclaimed before unleashing a bolt of lightning on Naruto. Naruto charged forward with a crimson glow around his form, just in time to make contact with the stunned Elder God. To finish Raiden, Naruto jumped high into the air before using his strength to dive downward with his knee aimed at his torso. Raiden rolled out of the way of the attack and teleported a safe distance away before unleashing a bolt of lightning on Naruto. Only this time, the attack was successful, causing Naruto to cry out in pain. I will not lose you. I can't afford to lose. I will not go down, cried Naruto before his entire body was encased in crimson energy, negating the lightning strike. What? You are losing strength. How do you have so much power left? In shock, Raiden questioned Naruto before being hit with another charging uppercut by Naruto. Because, unlike you, Raiden, I have people I care about. These people I rule over are more than just subjects who submit to me. They are priceless. They are the people I care about and want to protect and rule over with my power. You've forgotten what it's like to care about the mortals of this realm, or any of the others. I fight for those I have authority over. I fight for those I care about. You, on the other hand, fight for absolutely nothing. Naruto replied before approaching a still stunned Raiden, and began to demonstrate why he was emperor of this newly merged realm. When Naruto finally came to a halt, Raiden had been defeated. The Elder Gods yelled, "Finish him." Elder Gods, why do you abandon me? Raiden whispered, looking up past Naruto into the heavens, hoping for an answer, because they are aware of what I do. They see that you are unfit to be an Elder God. Naruto said this before thrusting his giant hand into Raiden's chest, followed by the other, and ripping the Elder God vertically in half with a mighty roar. The Elder Gods exclaimed, "Fatality. It has been completed. Now, Elder Gods, return my clan to mortal lands. According to the agreement, I am alive and well," Naruto declared to the sky above. Very good. It will be completed. The Elder Gods responded as one before beginning their task of carrying out the agreement made between the two warriors. Naruto's power receded into his body as his victory was complete, and he fell to his knees, breathing heavily. Slowly, with the help of his loyal subordinate in the form of Reptile revealing himself to the Emperor, he stood and helped the man recover his strength. I witnessed your duel with the Elder God. It was extremely impressive, my Emperor. Your abilities are unparalleled. Naruto chuckled as Reptile commented. Perhaps, but I will not allow myself to be ignorant or arrogant in believing that about my abilities. Furthermore, it would be unfit for an emperor to become fat and lazy while sitting on his throne. Reptile nodded in agreement as Naruto replied, "Shall I summon Senju Tsunade from Konoha to provide medical treatment when we return to the capital?" Reptile asked, and Naruto nodded. "Yes, I need her to treat not only my injuries, but also those of my cousin and the woman he was with. Raiden's lightning attack is extremely powerful regardless of who it hits," Naruto replied while struggling to move. "Indeed," Reptile said, having been among the many who had previously had the cruel privilege of being blasted by such power from the Elder God. It was never enjoyable. Naruto grinned as he sat on the throne. He was content with his family, his clan resurrected, and his extended family expressed gratitude to Milena. The woman became pregnant with Kimamero's child as a result of their many intense sessions, something that not only surprised the albino, but also made him very happy because he had contributed to the creation of a life. He never considered becoming a father until Tsunade personally confirmed Milena was indeed carrying his child. The male Kaguya intended for the child to be one of many that he and Milena would bring into the world. Milena was nervous because she had always been a wild woman, but this news served as a massive wake-up call for her to be a responsible woman. Oh, she was still going to be a badass fighter while also being a mother. There was no doubt about it because she knew there would always be a threat to her children when they grew up. Anyone who messed with her babies before they were properly trained. Melina would demonstrate what a female Tarkat and hybrid could do when enraged. Naruto's reappearance shocked the entire Uzumaki clan, as did the discovery that one of their own had become emperor of an entire world after merging with two others. Not only that, but they learned of Konoha's treachery while serving as subordinates to the Sandaime Hokage. Naturally, the entire clan desired blood and justice for the betrayal committed against them. Fortunately, Konoha was spared destruction because Naruto explained to them that he had already obtained justice by killing those responsible. Not only that, but he was able to coexist with the other shinobi villages under his control. They thought it was a very impressive feat. Naruto's mother was among those brought back from the Uzumaki clan. Kushina was astounded not only to be brought back, but also to see that her son had accomplished so much and was now emperor. She embarrassed herself by dancing around and doing her own little jig while rubbing in the fact that her son was now an actual emperor. It was even funnier when Kushina discovered her son had an abundance of females acting as both his wives and concubines. Many of them were warriors or skilled in some other way appropriate to their station, and they were not there for show, eye candy, or to be a bed warmer for him. The poor redhead woman's eyes nearly popped out of their sockets when she saw Shiva and realized she was one of his many wives. Kushina fainted upon hearing that the female Shaken had been informed that she was pregnant with his child and that the Uzumaki woman would become a grandmother. Speaking of the Shaken, they were having problems with the Centurions once again as a result of the realms being merged. But Naruto put a stop to that. He promoted their strongest general to high general in his army after they competed in a tournament and tests to determine who was truly deserving of the title. However, he emphasized to both races that they would respect each other regardless of who was in positions of power. Naruto, like his predecessor, disliked the idea of these two sides fighting because it reminded him of the Senju and Uchiha feuding for supremacy. Naruto was not about to repeat such history during his reign. Nagato, on the other hand, had been properly healed thanks to Tsunade, and he no longer needed to sit in a special chair while commanding the 6 paths with his Rinnegan. He no longer had the 6 paths to pain due to Raiden destroying them all. Nonetheless, proper medical treatment, as well as therapy to restore muscle mass to his body, gave the man a new lease on life, extending it from what would have been a shorter one. Conan was overjoyed to see Nagato walking around again, and the two eventually confessed their feelings for each other. Conan, on the other hand, took a moment to process his own words, mostly because Kushina was watching them and decided to nudge the situation in the right direction. And by nudge, I mean punching her Nagato in the back of the head and yelling in his face to tell Conan how he feels or she'd do it for him. Needless to say, it got the job done quickly. In any case, the two married and settled in the newly restored Uzu, where Nagato was welcomed by other members of the Uzumaki clan. It had made the burden of his past pains much lighter, especially when Conan was pregnant with their child. They planned to name the child Yahiko if it was a boy and Kushina if it was a girl. It had nothing to do with the fact that Kushina had given the couple an angry look if they didn't name the girl after her when they were discussing baby names. Honest, Raiden was never seen by Naruto again. While he was aware that the man had died during their Mortal Kombat match, he was also aware that someone like him could always return given enough time. Only later did the wind god Fujin appear before him and explain that Raiden had been punished by the elder gods for his transgressions. They felt his actions at AIM were in violation of their decisions, and their defeat in the fight with Naruto provided the justification. As a result, Raiden was stripped of his elder god status and, like Shinnok, was imprisoned for his crimes against the elemental god. As a result, Fujin went on to explain to Naruto that the Elder Gods had appointed the Wind God himself to replace Raiden, and ensure Naruto's empire remained fair yet firm under his rule. Naruto appreciated the sentiment and told Fujin that he would welcome the now appointed Elder God's visit in the future if his presence warranted it. But, in general, Naruto was doing well. His life was going well. He had people he cared about, family. His empire was one of peace and order, subjects who flourished under his rule. After years of being hated, abused, and having little, the once puny boy had finally gotten everything he desired. With anticipation, Emperor Naruto's reign as emperor, and that of his descendants would ensure the peace and security of his empire for many years to come.
So this was it for this series. If you wanna watch more series like this, subscribe to my channel. Till then, we weeb offline.